Have you ever felt that God is calling you to something extraordinary, yet the journey feels lonely? Today we'll delve into the reasons why solitude is not a burden, but a divine gift. Inspired by the wisdom of C.S. Lewis, we'll discover how embracing silence and aligning with God's voice can transform your spiritual life and reveal the unique purpose He has designed for you. If you feel this message resonates with your spiritual journey, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. By activating notifications, you'll receive inspiring content that deepens your connection with God and helps you uncover His purpose for your life. Join a growing community of believers, and let's continue to walk this path of faith together. In a world filled with constant distractions and noise, staying connected to God can feel like an uphill battle. Perhaps you wake up each day with the intention of strengthening your faith, only to find yourself pulled in countless directions by responsibilities, social pressures, and worldly concerns. It's a struggle that many face, balancing the desire for deeper spiritual connection with the demands of daily life. C.S. Lewis often compared this challenge to trying to hear a delicate melody in the middle of a noisy crowd. Our souls yearn for God's voice, but the chaos around us makes it difficult to focus and listen. This tension isn't a sign of weakness, but rather an invitation to seek a space of peace where His guidance becomes clear. Today, we will explore 10 essential principles that shed light on why solitude, silence, and simplicity are vital for those who have been called by God. Drawing from the profound insights of C.S. Lewis will uncover how these practices help strengthen your relationship with God, safeguard your inner peace, and reveal the divine purpose behind your unique journey. Through these reflections, you'll learn how to embrace solitude as a means of preparation, recognize silence as a space for hearing God's voice, and find strength in simplicity to focus on what truly matters. Each principle serves as a guide to help you walk confidently in your faith and fulfill the mission God has entrusted to you. If you've ever felt the weight of being set apart for something greater but weren't sure how to navigate it, these 10 principles will provide clarity and direction to transform your spiritual connection and uncover the deeper meaning behind your path. Being called by God is an extraordinary invitation to a path unlike any other. It's not about superiority, but about recognizing that your life carries a unique purpose, carefully designed by the Creator. Responding to this divine call often requires stepping away from the world's expectations to fully align with God's will. C.S. Lewis described this calling as a transformative experience that sets believers apart, not out of pride, but because of the weight of the spiritual responsibility they carry. This distinction can sometimes feel isolating, as others may not understand the direction of your journey. However, it is precisely in this separation that the significance of the call becomes evident. Walking this path requires courage and trust in God's plan, even when it seems unclear to those around you. The uniqueness of this calling often means protecting your heart and spirit from distractions that could derail your focus. For those who are called, vigilance becomes essential, identifying what strengthens their faith and what diminishes it. This singularity is not a burden, but an opportunity to draw closer to God and fulfill the purpose He has for you. It may involve sacrifices or changes that feel uncomfortable, but every step taken in faith brings you closer to the fullness of His plan. As you embrace the unique path God has set for you, remember that you are never alone. He equips and guides you every step of the way, ensuring that your efforts bear fruit in ways you cannot yet see. Your life, shaped by this calling, becomes not only a testament to God's faithfulness, but also a light that inspires others to seek their own divine purpose. Those who are called by God possess a heightened spiritual sensitivity, a unique ability to perceive the deeper realities of life and faith. However, this sensitivity can become a challenge in a world dominated by noise, distractions, and endless demands. The constant exposure to external influences can weigh heavily on the spirit, making it harder to maintain clarity and focus on God's voice. C.S. Lewis often wrote about the tension believers face in navigating a world filled with competing priorities. He described how the soul, attuned to divine truths, struggles to thrive amidst the clamor of modern life. This spiritual noise doesn't only come from external sources like responsibilities or media, but also from within, through doubts, anxieties, and unresolved fears. Yet this sensitivity is not a weakness, but a gift that enables the chosen to discern what aligns with God's purpose and what distracts from it. For this reason, those who are spiritually sensitive must take intentional steps to protect and nurture their connection with God. Cultivating moments of silence, creating space for prayer, and stepping away from environments that overwhelm are essential practices for maintaining spiritual health. Living with spiritual sensitivity also requires wisdom in relationships and interactions. It involves recognizing which connections build your faith and which may drain your energy. This isn't about rejecting others, but about being mindful of the influences you allow into your life. By prioritizing relationships and spaces that encourage your growth in Christ, you safeguard your peace and clarity. In a noisy world, those who are spiritually sensitive act as beacons of light, demonstrating how to remain anchored in faith amidst chaos. Their ability to listen deeply to God and respond faithfully serves as a reminder to others of the power of living intentionally. Spiritual sensitivity is both a responsibility and a strength, empowering the chosen to walk boldly in their calling. By embracing this gift, you not only deepen your connection with God, but also inspire others to seek the peace and purpose that only He can provide. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a sacred space where we can hear the gentle voice of God. For those who are called by Him, cultivating silence is not just beneficial. It is essential. It allows the soul to rest, reflect, and align itself with His will, free from the chaos of the outside world. C.S. Lewis often highlighted how God rarely speaks through the loud and dramatic, but instead through the soft whispers of the heart. These whispers can be easily drowned out by the clamor of daily life, whether it's the demands of work, social pressures, or even the incessant chatter of our own minds. Silence becomes the sanctuary where God's guidance and comfort can truly be felt. Embracing silence requires intentionality. It may mean stepping away from distractions, turning off devices, or carving out time in a busy day to simply sit in God's presence. These moments of quiet are opportunities to reflect on His word, seek His wisdom, and pour out our hearts in prayer. They are also moments to listen, truly listen, for what He is saying to us. Silence also serves as a mirror, revealing the state of our hearts and minds. It confronts us with our fears, doubts, and desires, but in doing so, it creates space for God's healing and transformation. It teaches us to be still and to trust that His plans are unfolding perfectly, even when we cannot see them. The value of silence extends beyond the personal. It prepares us to engage with the world from a place of peace and strength. When we've spent time in God's quiet presence, we are better equipped to face life's challenges and to respond with grace and wisdom. In silence, we find clarity, direction, and renewal. It is where the noise of the world fades and God's voice becomes unmistakably clear. For those who are called, silence is not an option, but a necessity, a space where the soul can commune with its Creator and be reminded of His love, purpose, and faithfulness. Guarding your heart and mind is a vital discipline for anyone walking in alignment with God's calling. Just as a garden needs constant care to flourish and remain free of weeds, your spiritual life requires intentional effort to stay pure and focused on His purpose. In a world filled with distractions and influences that can pull you away from God, protecting your inner self is essential for maintaining a strong and healthy relationship with Him. C.S. Lewis often emphasized how the world, with its constant noise and demands, can erode our spiritual sensitivity if we are not vigilant. The pressures of social expectations, the relentless flow of information, and even the subtle doubts that creep into our thoughts can act like thorns, choking out the seeds of faith God has planted in our hearts. To thrive spiritually, we must actively guard against these negative influences. Protecting your heart begins with discernment, choosing what you allow to influence your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. This might mean stepping away from environments or relationships that drain your spirit or fuel anxiety. Instead, it involves intentionally surrounding yourself with what nourishes your faith, such as time in God's Word, uplifting conversations, and moments of worship. The mind, too, needs constant renewal. Without discipline, it is easy for our thoughts to spiral into fear, doubt, or negativity. Prayer and meditation on God's promises are powerful tools to keep your mind aligned with His truth. By focusing on what is noble, pure, and praiseworthy, as Paul writes in Philippians 4:8, you create a mental space where God's peace can dwell. When you prioritize the health of your heart and mind, you build a strong spiritual foundation that withstands the storms of life. This intentionality not only protects your inner peace, but also allows you to shine as a beacon of hope and faith for others. Ultimately, guarding your heart and mind is an act of devotion. It reflects your commitment to live fully for God, ensuring that your soul remains a fertile ground where His purposes can flourish. In doing so, you honor Him and position yourself to walk boldly in the path He has prepared for you. Finding refuge in God's presence is not just a spiritual luxury. It's a necessity for those called to walk a unique and challenging path. In a world filled with relentless noise and constant demands, God offers a sacred space where your soul can rest, recharge, and be renewed. This refuge is more than a temporary escape. It is the foundation from which you gain strength to face the world with clarity and purpose. C.S. Lewis often described God's presence as a place of unparalleled peace, where the chaos of the world fades away. It is here in the quiet communion with the Creator that we are reminded of His sovereignty and love. This time spent with Him is not about avoiding life's responsibilities, but about equipping ourselves to handle them with grace and wisdom. To access this refuge, intentionality is key. It might mean setting aside a specific time each day for prayer, scripture reading, or simply sitting in silence before God. These moments allow you to realign your heart and mind with His will, casting off the burdens of worry and finding comfort in His promises. In His presence, you're reminded that you are not alone and that He is working all things for your good. This divine refuge is also a place of transformation. As you dwell in God's presence, He refines your character, strengthens your faith, and provides the guidance you need for the journey ahead. Here you are free to lay down your fears and uncertainties, trusting that God's plans are greater than anything you could imagine. Moreover, this sacred space helps you build resilience. When you consistently seek God's presence, you develop an inner peace that remains steadfast regardless of external circumstances. This peace becomes your anchor, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with unwavering faith. Finding refuge in God's presence is not an optional part of the spiritual journey. It is essential. It's where you discover your true identity, receive the strength to persevere, and are reminded of the greater purpose behind your calling. In His presence, you are restored, equipped, and ready to walk boldly in the path He has set before you. Walking the path of someone chosen by God is a profound privilege, but it is often accompanied by challenges, particularly the struggle of being misunderstood. When God calls you to a higher purpose, it sets you apart in ways that others may not easily comprehend. Your priorities, decisions, and values align with eternal truths rather than worldly concerns, creating a natural tension with those who view life through a different lens. C.S. Lewis often likened the life of a believer to that of a pilgrim in a foreign land, someone who walks a road few others understand. This metaphor highlights how those who answer God's call often feel out of place in a world that values the temporary over the eternal. The distinctiveness of this journey can sometimes feel isolating, but it also serves as a reminder of the unique mission entrusted to you. Being misunderstood, however, is not a hindrance, but an opportunity for spiritual growth. Each instance of doubt or criticism from others is a chance to deepen your reliance on God's guidance and approval. Rather than seeking validation from the world, you are called to look to Him as your source of strength and affirmation. This shift in perspective allows you to navigate misunderstandings with grace, trusting that God's purpose is greater than any human opinion. While the path may feel lonely at times, it's important to remember that God has not called you to walk entirely alone. Seeking fellowship with like-minded believers can provide encouragement and support. These relationships, though sometimes rare, serve as vital reminders that you are part of a greater spiritual family united by faith and purpose. Accepting that not everyone will understand your journey is a liberating realization. It frees you from the need to explain or justify your calling, allowing you to focus fully on fulfilling it. The challenges of being misunderstood ultimately strengthen your faith, refine your character, and remind you that your identity and mission are rooted in God's plan, not the world's expectations. Walking this path may not always be easy, but it is rich with meaning. Your faithfulness to God's call becomes a testimony of His goodness, inspiring others to seek their own divine purpose and trust in His unfailing guidance. If this message has touched your heart, show your support by liking this video. Your engagement helps more people discover these reflections and grow in their faith. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. Which part of the message spoke to you the most? Your insights might inspire and encourage someone else on their spiritual journey. While solitude is a vital part of the spiritual journey, believers are not meant to walk alone indefinitely. True growth in faith often flourishes within the context of community, both with God and with others who share similar values and aspirations. This spiritual fellowship is not merely a source of emotional support, but a powerful space where faith is nurtured, strengthened, and practiced. C.S. Lewis frequently emphasized the importance of community in his writings, noting that Christianity is not an isolated pursuit, but a collective experience. Being surrounded by others who are also striving to live according to God's will provides encouragement, accountability, and insight. These relationships serve as reminders that even in moments of personal struggle, you are part of a greater body, united by faith. However, finding the right community can be a challenge for those called by God. Due to their spiritual sensitivity and longing for depth, the chosen often feel out of place in superficial social circles. This is why it's crucial to seek out spaces that prioritize genuine connection, shared beliefs, and spiritual growth. Prayer groups, Bible studies, or faith-focused gatherings can provide a meaningful environment where you can build lasting relationships and find the support you need. Being in community with God, however, remains at the core. This means prioritizing your personal relationship with Him, even within a group setting. Prayer, meditation on His Word, and seeking His guidance should remain your foundation, allowing His presence to direct your actions and interactions. By staying connected to God first, your contributions to the community become more authentic and impactful. The wisdom of embracing community lies in understanding that we are designed for connection. While your individual calling is unique, your faith journey is enriched when shared with others who can inspire and uplift you. By balancing moments of solitude with intentional fellowship, you create an environment where your faith can thrive and your spiritual resilience can grow. In God's design, community is a gift. It provides strength for the journey, encouragement in trials, and the joy of knowing you are never truly alone. By embracing both your personal connection with Him and the relationships He places in your life, you walk with wisdom, purpose, and the assurance that His plan is unfolding perfectly. Solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness, but for those called by God, it is a sacred period of preparation. Far from being a punishment, it is a gift that allows you to step away from distractions and focus on the unique mission God has entrusted to you. In this time of quiet, your heart is refined, your spirit is strengthened, and your faith is deepened, equipping you for the challenges that lie ahead. C.S. Lewis often reflected on how profound transformation occurs in moments of solitude. Away from the noise of the world, the soul is better able to hear God's voice, discern His will, and confront the parts of ourselves that need growth. Solitude acts as a workshop for the spirit, where we are shaped into the people God needs us to be for His purpose. This preparation isn't passive. It is a time of intentional growth. Solitude offers an opportunity to develop spiritual disciplines such as prayer, meditation, and studying Scripture. It is a period of equipping, much like a soldier trains before heading into battle. During this time, God strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and instills in you the courage needed to fulfill your calling. One of the greatest lessons solitude teaches is reliance on God. When you step away from the noise and validation of others, you are left with the quiet assurance that God's presence is enough. This reliance fosters a deeper trust, helping you to navigate uncertainty and challenges with confidence. Solitude also provides clarity. In the quiet, God reveals details of your mission that you may have missed amidst the distractions of daily life. It is in these still moments that your purpose becomes clearer and your spirit becomes aligned with His plan. Embracing solitude as a time of preparation transforms the way you approach your calling. Rather than feeling isolated, you begin to see it as an opportunity to grow closer to God and become fully equipped for the road ahead. It is in these private, often uncelebrated moments that the foundation for extraordinary work is laid, allowing you to walk boldly in the mission God has prepared for you. In a world obsessed with excess and complexity, simplicity often goes unnoticed as a source of strength. Yet, for those called by God, simplicity is not just a lifestyle. It is a spiritual discipline that brings clarity, peace, and focus. Living simply does not mean giving up ambition or settling for less. Rather, it is about prioritizing what truly matters, your relationship with God and the purpose He has set for your life. C.S. Lewis frequently emphasized that profound truths are often found in the simplest aspects of life. He reminded us that God speaks through small, ordinary moments, a kind word, a quiet prayer, or an act of faith. In choosing simplicity, you make room for God to work in your life without the distractions of materialism or societal pressures. Simplicity starts with the heart. It requires releasing attachments to things that don't align with God's purpose, such as the pursuit of status, possessions, or external validation. By letting go of these burdens, you create space for gratitude, contentment, and a deeper awareness of His presence in your daily life. This shift doesn't just change your perspective, it strengthens your faith by allowing you to focus on eternal truths rather than fleeting concerns. This simplicity also extends to your actions and relationships. Choosing simplicity means prioritizing authenticity, humility, and kindness in how you engage with others. It involves aligning your decisions with your beliefs, ensuring that your life reflects the values of Christ. Through these choices, you not only experience peace but also become a source of inspiration for those around you. The strength found in simplicity is transformative. It frees you from the chaos of the world and enables you to walk with clarity and purpose in the path God has laid out for you. When you embrace simplicity, you discover a richness that cannot be measured by earthly standards, a richness rooted in God's love and grace. Simplicity is not a retreat but a bold declaration of faith. By choosing to live with intention and focus, you position yourself to fully experience God's plan for your life, while serving as a light to others seeking the same peace and purpose. Solitude, while often challenging, is a powerful tool that God uses to reveal and refine your purpose. For those called by Him, periods of isolation are not moments of abandonment, but opportunities for transformation. These times, though difficult, allow you to step back from the noise of the world and focus on the greater plan God has for your life. C.S. Lewis wrote extensively about how solitude provides a unique space for spiritual growth. In the quiet, you are more attuned to God's voice, able to hear His guidance without distraction. Solitude forces you to confront your doubts, fears, and limitations, but it is within this confrontation that God shapes your character. He uses these moments to teach you trust, patience, and resilience, preparing you for the mission ahead. Recognizing the greater purpose in solitude begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing it as loneliness or separation, see it as an invitation to grow closer to God. It's in these moments of stillness that you can reflect on your journey, realign your priorities, and deepen your dependence on Him. Solitude becomes a sacred space where He equips you for what lies ahead. This journey is not without its challenges. The weight of being set apart can feel overwhelming, but it's important to remember that solitude is part of the process of preparation. God uses it to reveal aspects of your purpose that might otherwise remain hidden amidst the busyness of life. Each moment of solitude is a step closer to understanding the unique role He has designed for you. Furthermore, solitude strengthens your ability to inspire and guide others. As you walk through this season, you become a living testament to the peace and purpose that come from trusting in God's plan. Your journey, though personal, has the power to impact those around you, showing them the beauty of a life fully surrendered to Him. By embracing solitude, you align your spirit with God's will and gain clarity about the path He has set before you. It is a reminder that every step, even those taken in isolation, leads closer to the fulfillment of His perfect plan for your life. Every step in your spiritual journey is an opportunity to grow closer to God and align with His purpose. The truths explored today are more than ideas. They are invitations to act, to embrace change, and to deepen your faith. But the question remains, will you take the next step? C.S. Lewis often emphasized that faith is not passive. It requires action. It's in the small, consistent steps of trust and obedience that we experience the transformative power of God. These steps don't need to be monumental. Sometimes, simply setting aside time to pray, reflect, or thank God can begin a shift in your spiritual life. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what resonated most with you today? Was it the importance of solitude, the strength found in simplicity, or the reminder to protect your heart and mind? Identify one principle that you can begin to apply in your daily life. even in the smallest way. God doesn't expect perfection, but He desires your willingness to follow His lead. Each effort you make to align with His will brings you closer to the peace and fulfillment that He promises. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. His presence goes with you, guiding and strengthening you every step of the way. Now is the time to move forward, no matter how uncertain or imperfect it feels. Take a step in faith, knowing that God honors every act of obedience and uses it to shape you for His greater purpose. Let today be the day you choose to act, trust, and grow, confident that He is walking beside you. If this message inspired you, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Activate notifications to receive more content that strengthens your faith and supports your spiritual journey. Share in the comments which principle you'll apply first. Your reflection might inspire someone else on their path. Walking with God is a journey like no other, filled with challenges, but also rich with purpose and blessings. Today, you've taken an important step by reflecting on these truths that can transform your relationship with Him. Remember, every moment of solitude, every act of simplicity, and every choice to trust Him brings you closer to the purpose He has for your life. God never promised that the journey would be easy, but He did promise His constant presence. Even in the most uncertain moments, He walks beside you, guiding, strengthening, and preparing you for what's ahead. You are never truly alone. Move forward with confidence, allowing your heart to align with His will. Each step, no matter how small, is part of a greater story that He is unfolding in and through you. You are called, chosen, and deeply loved. Let this truth inspire you daily and remind you that with God by your side, there is no obstacle too great or path too difficult. Your faithfulness not only transforms your life, but also becomes a light for others, pointing them toward His everlasting grace and love.